Good morning, grade 7. We are going to start a new chapter. It's not in your book, but don't worry, I'm going to send everything you need. So just listen to the explanation and study the notes that I'm going to send with the extra exercises. So, chapter 22, lesson 1, electric charges and electric forces. Electric charges. I'm sure most of you have experienced this. Sometimes when you touch a metal doorknob, you feel a certain shock. This shock comes from electric charges jumping between your fingers and the doorknob. Where do they come from, and why do they jump from one object to another? This is what we are going to find. Now, atoms, as you know, are the tiny particles that made up all matter around us. An atom has a nucleus, and inside the nucleus I have two smaller particles that are the protons and the neutrons. The atom also is made up of electrons, but these particles move around the atom's nucleus. The protons and the electrons have a property called electric charge. Neutrons do not have an electric charge. So now we know that the electric charge comes from the protons and the electrons. I have two types of charges. There are the positive charges and the negative charges. The positive charge is held by the proton and the negative charge by the electron. These two charged particles are found in every atom. Now, the atoms have equal number of positive protons and negative electrons. A particle with equal amount of positive charge and negative charge is electrically neutral. This is why the matter is neutral. Now, electrically neutral atoms make up all the objects. Therefore, objects are normally electrically neutral too. However, sometimes the electrons are going to change their place. They will be transferred between objects. In this picture, you will see I have a silk and I have a glass rod. When you rub them together, the glass rod is going to be electrically charged and the silk as well. You can try it with the ruler. You can rub it on your hair and then try to hold small pieces of papers. They will be attracted to the ruler. Now, the transfer of charge. Some materials attract electrons more than others. Now, as the glass rod is rubbed against the silk, electrons are pulled off the glass onto the silk. Usually matter is charge neutral because the number of electrons, as we said, and protons are equal, but here the silk has an excess of electrons and the rod has a deficit. Glass and silk are insulators. Charges stuck on them stay put. We're going to see more about insulators later on. The important thing you should know is that I had two objects that were neutral, and after I rubbed them together, both of them are electrically charged. When electrons transfer from one object to another, both objects become electrically charged. An electrically charged object has an unbalanced amount of positive and negative charge. As I gave you the example of the ruler, you can rub it to a piece of cloth or to your hair, and then it will be charged and it will be capable of attracting small pieces of papers. Now, positively charged. When an object has lost one or more electrons, it will have more protons than electrons and more positive charges than negative charges. This object will be positively charged. There's something you must know. The electrons are the particles that move. Protons don't move. So if an object is positively charged, it doesn't mean it gained protons. It means that it has lost one or more electrons. Negatively charged, when an object has gained one or more electrons, it will have more electrons than protons and more negative charge than the positive charge. The object will be negatively charged. And that's it for now. Thank you, grade 7.